I'm going to go ahead and play this from Elle Winter. This is the promo video for her. Check it out.
Respect my lady. She's my woman. She got a touch hell high. Respect my lady. She's my cause she's my woman. She got a touch hell high. Be white and be white. There's a fine line between dreams and delusions, temporary fixes and real solutions. Criminal minds committing crime, doing time, life a crime. Spending time, wasting time at a time and revolution. Never seen so many with so many privileges. Enjoy so many of America's riches. Complain about so many situations, like rotten, spoiled, liberal little bitches. If you're coming into America with open arms, we'll welcome you. But you better damn well cherish her, or we'll make life bloody hell. Respect my lady. She's my la-di-da-di-da-da. She's my woman. She got a torch in high. Respect my lady. She's my la-di-da-di-da-da. 'Cause she's my woman. Oh, she got a torch in high. Be white and be white.
Let's see, your host has asked you to start your video. That's where it was. It was hiding behind.
There you are! Yay!
There's no fire, Toots. It's the party.
Oh,
This
you
party
look
is just getting
beautiful.
started.
You look incredibly beautiful. Oh my gosh, Songbird, you
well.
are so pretty. And not only that, but you are just such a ray of light. You are such a, and I don't know if you watched the first part of the show, but wow, enough of all of that. Yeah.
Oh,
I
it's
did,
really
I
getting
did.
depressing. But Jules said that you got 3 new
Yes,
songs,
she does.
and we are so excited to hear this. You don't even know.
Thank you.
I can't wait. Jules can't wait. And Jules, did you hear them yet?
I have not. I wanted it to be a
Oh,
surprise
good,
for me
good,
too.
good. 'Cause normally Jules likes to get a little sneak peek and you leave everybody else in the dark.
I
Well,
do.
let's get the party started.
I would agree. Let's go ahead. And I have the first one here, God Speaks Life. Is that where you'd like for me to start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's do that. Let me get you two up on the screen as well so that we have you. And is there anything you would like for us to know about this particular song, Songbird?
Well, yes, it was recorded like a long time ago. And Toots, this was one of those. I found a guy in town. He could take my old recordings and put it onto digital for me. So that was a
So you had
blessing.
this on you had this on the 2-inch
Yes.
tape?
Yeah.
Nice,
And
nice.
so now this was a demo that I did many years ago. And so, I mean, I could re-sing, the demos, but they're good enough. And then I put a vid to it just now. So I hope you guys like it. I hope you're blessed by it. I hope
Wow.
you tap your toes a little bit.
So how long ago did you write this?
Oh, I wrote this 30 years ago.
In the 80s? And then so in the 90s.
Yes, I recorded
In the
it in the
90s.
90s.
Wow. Oh, this is awesome. All right.
Yeah.
A little vintage Songbird
Vintage
here, people.
Songbird.
All right, here we go.
I know my God is on my side. He's with me all the time. I've seen him do great things on roads I've had to climb. The times when I am feeling low, he shows how my faith can grow. It's the very best place
so much for that. I will tell you something. You know what? Amid all of this chaos, that is one thing that we need to remember is always trust in God. I mean, seriously. We forget that. We get so caught up in everything that's going on. Songbird, that was so beautiful. It really
Yes.
was.
I'm glad you liked it.
And,
Well,
I
you know,
loved it.
I'm so tired of the daily draggy news. It's just like it gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse. So I thought, well, maybe I'll go on Patriots in Tune and bring a Songbird's Gospel Hour.
oh, thank you.
I
Thank
So
love
you.
I've got a
it's
bunch of
needed.
songs about the Lord because I really felt, it's like, what am I going to talk about that these guys haven't already covered, at length and continue to bring so magnificently, every week you bring us the latest and it's, nobody can do it better than you guys do it. It's just in a format that's so palatable
Oh, wow.
and,
Thank you so much for that.
So
That is
sweet to
truly appreciate that. And
say.
you know what? This is what was missing. We need the word of God and the way you say, the way your voice. But I want to ask you a couple of questions. Now, you did this in the 90s. So these are all musicians playing. You had, right? You had a whole band playing all of that.
they're live. Yeah, live
I
musicians.
love it. I love it
Yeah.
because today you could create all of that, but it's all done on the keyboard. You could basically get a lot. And that bossa nova feel, which I love. I'm a
It's
drummer.
fun. Yeah,
That's the
I
one
bet you do.
feel.
Yeah.
But that is the toughest for me because growing up as a rock drummer, jazz, funky, that
Yeah.
bossa nova feel, it always was my toughest feel to do. And I love listening to the bossa nova groove. It's just an amazing, it's just feels good, and your
Yeah,
voice
it
is so
does.
nice on it. What a
Oh,
great
thank
job.
you. Thank
Wasn't
you
that
so
nice?
much.
I
We
love
Appreciate
needed that.
that.
We really needed that. Oh,
Oh,
my God.
I mean, you really are. When I say you're like sunshine, in the rain, you really are because honestly, even your background, the way you're sparkling, I feel better. I need
was
a
so
daily
productive.
dose
Don't ask
of
my husband. No, just don't ask my husband because I yelled at him tonight about an hour ago. I was fussing with these backdrops. I mean, look at this thing. It's got all that jiggly black stuff going on there, and I couldn't get the jiggly out of it. It's just like the lighting is just different every time I do this Zoom thing with the green screen.
yes.
It's just like it's brand new every time, and it's just a crapshoot as to whether or not it
Nobody
actually
would
gonna
even
work.
know. Nobody would even notice it. It looks
No.
great. The
No,
backdrop
because
was-
you glow in and
Yeah.
of yourself. I mean, you really do. You are just magnificent, and we are so glad to finally get you back on the show. I know it's been kind of touch and go, but we were not going to let go. We were like, we've got to have Songbird back on the show as soon as possible. So
You are so good. I don't know if this is my fourth or fifth time. My first time on Patriots in Tune was July 14 of last year.
yeah,
And you've had me on 4 or 5 times since. And I'm like, why do they do that?
we
I
love
don't get it.
you. That's why everyone does. Everyone
Yeah.
does.
And you came on a lot with Mary Fanning too. You came on with us.
Mary
Yeah.
Fanning
Mary
as
one
well.
time, yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
got a great new article. I appreciate you sending that to me. And I'm going to drop that into the chat room. We have reached out to her about coming on the show, just as you had
Good.
suggested. I know she's
Great.
been real busy lately.
Oh
as
my
well.
goodness, like crazy. I mean, it's just been crazy for her. She is on every talk show that'll have her. It's just really, she's very busy. Sometimes she's doing 5 in a day.
It's amazing.
She's
She's
so
really
shadow banned.
oh yeah, she's a true American. She's right at the front line. Everybody's doing what they can do. And what she's doing, not many people could do what she's doing. I mean,
No.
she's like a one of a kind. She's
No, she
on the
is.
front line. It's amazing. She's a true
And do you
American.
know,
hero.
she's so shadow banned and she's not getting the exposure that she needs. So there are many people that and maybe even love, maybe hate, I don't know, in MAGA land that literally take her work and call it their own.
Oh, that's not
Oh,
surprising.
really?
That's not
Why would
surprising.
they
I
do that?
can't stand it.
Plagiarize.
It happens all the time. It's so sad to see that happen. I mean, people literally will act like there's somebody else. You know who it happens a lot to is Cat Turd. He is
Oh, I'm
constantly
sure.
telling people, "Oh my gosh, that's not my account. I'm not on Getter. I'm not on anywhere except for Gab and also on, of course, Twitter." And
Yeah.
he's got all of these accounts everywhere else. They even made an account for Hip Turd and all of the things that he creates. It happens all the time.
Right. Well, you've got one guy who I really liked so much, and I followed him for a couple of years there. until I got busy, and then I kind of fell off a little bit. But I really believed in him. Now he's discrediting Mary, but sharing all her stuff and saying that his researchers found this stuff, and he doesn't have anything to do against Mary, but he can't verify her research. Yet he's using all of her research and calling it his own.
Oh,
Who's
how
this?
awful. Who is that?
That's Dr. Dave Janda.
That's
Who is it?
So sue me, Dave. I don't care.
Yeah, that is terrible. We've never had him on our show. We've only had
Don't.
Mary on here,
Yeah,
because
don't.
we know that Mary. We know her work. We've
I love
watched her.
Mary.
I mean, she's incredible. Really, really spectacular. And the thing about it is that when she writes something, I mean, she gives you the history. She gives you the whole thing and gives you dates. Gives you as much as she can to
Right.
certain
I remember,
But it's all of her
when-
work.
When Mary was on, I ended up I met General McInerney a couple of years back.
Yes.
And
right.
I'm with General McInerney, and he's talking about all this stuff, and it's going over my head. I don't really know exactly what he's talking about. He was talking about the hammer and the scorecard and all of this stuff. And I was listening, but it must have been about 6 years ago. It was like right around Trump, in the middle of the Trump era.
Mary brought it to him.
And all of a sudden, Mary is on here, and she starts talking about the hammer and scorecard, and I'm going, hammer and scorecard. I'm like, wait a minute, we're here.
Sounded familiar, huh?
And then she mentions General McInerney. I'm like, oh my God, that's where I heard it. I said, I remember he was talking about this exact same thing
Right.
a couple of years back. Maybe it was about 3 or 4 years. I can't remember how long ago
Yeah,
it
it
was.
was
But
2017.
2017, yeah.
And because that's when she came out with the article, and she gave it to him, and he went and shared it on Dave Janda's program for the first time. That's the first time Dave ever heard about it.
Wow.
And verbatim, he read Mary's article, and since then Dave's been taking it as his own. And then he gets paid with his clicks and whatever, however it is he gets paid. And so here's Mary working in the trenches, and she can't even show her face because the deep state want her dead, and she's not making any money. She's doing this for the love of country.
Yeah.
That's right.
And you know what? And I'm sure Mary wouldn't mind if people were sharing her content, but giving her the credit for it.
Absolutely, she wants it
I
shared.
would share it, but you can't steal. You can't share it and make it like it's yours. I mean, that's insane.
Exactly.
Especially as a
Exactly right.
musician, and you as a writer, as all of us as content makers. All of us,
Right.
Jules, myself, you. Don't ever take credit for something that I do. I can't even tell when Jules came up with this one line, flip flop like a fish on a dock.
That's mine.
And God forbid I ever say, as soon as I say it, she's like, that's my line. Don't ever use that line. Better give me credit. I'm like, all right, I mean, these
It
are
doesn't
like
happen very often, but when
Yeah.
it does,
It's a big, these are your creations, and for somebody to take your creation and put it out as their own, that is and you know what? And you know who that is? That's this dumb idiot, brain dead basement idiot. He is the plagiarist. That's all he does is plagiarize everything. He plagiarized all of these speeches from the past, and now the whole damn Democrat Party is plagiarizing the whole Nazi playbook. So all they do is plagiarize everything. And I don't like plagiarists as a writer, and I'm sure you can feel that way. And believe me, I know Jules feels that way
oh yes.
with her little line that she wrote there. Gosh,
Yes.
Yes, I
Well, I mean-
always tell him that's mine. Don't
That's
steal
right.
it.
Don't steal it. Go ahead and use it. Just give him some credit, give him some props for it.
That's right. Like I said, those are very few and far between. I don't know what was going on that day, but something
Right.
did. Oh my gosh. But yes. And one other thing I wanted to say, because we do not, we don't get any kickbacks or anything from Mike Lindell or My Pillow Guy, but I do know that if you were to order from My Pillow, that if you type in her code, Mary's code, Mary Fanning, TAR, then you can get a discount. So we'll tell everybody here.
66% or something like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you want to support Mary and her work, please make sure if you're going to and Mike Lindell and the pillows and you need sheets and all of that really great stuff, mypillow.com, definitely type in the code TAR, and then she will get credit for that. It's the least we
Right.
can do. And when we
It
do
is.
great, we get 66% off. So I mean, it's a win-win for everybody.
Right. And that Mary produced all of those movies that Mike came out with.
She's incredible.
All
Those
the
were
content
all of
was
hers.
hers.
you know who did an amazing job was Professor Clements. Did you see Professor Clements
Yes.
at the end? he wrapped up the whole thing at the end. I don't know if it was the last one, but I saw him. He did like an hour. It was the most amazing. The analogies he used was so amazing. He was because he's a prosecutor, and he used it as if he was prosecuting a crime with this, and it was the same thing. It was amazing.
At the
They were
symposium.
We should,
excellent.
yeah,
They
at
were
the
so
symposium.
good.
Yeah, we should drop that in if we, I'm gonna say tomorrow we'll send that. Then just put it into the chat room so everybody can look at
Yes,
that. Send
it's
that
on
out.
the American report.org.
Yeah,
She's got them all on
amazing.
it.
I'm going to
amazing.
drop all of those links in there, including her new article as well, so that everybody has got it, because it's very lengthy. But you basically did a great job for me. Thank you very much. You know that I work during the day.
Oh,
And
I'm
I
so glad. You know,
appreciate you doing that. You gave me the
Well-
hot takes on this particular article, and it was really interesting. The most important takeaway from the article that I'm dropping into the chat room is that Biden's armed Taliban just as Obama armed ISIS. Okay, and we're starting to see the results of all of this. We see ISIS coming back into our lives again like it was during the Obama years, but this time I think it's going to be worse because they've got all the ammunition, etc. Biden's money, the amount of money, arms paid for the U.S. taxpayer went to terrorists. You're talking about $85 billion U.S. funding to the Afghan army, 600,000 weapons, 75,000 vehicles, 200 aircraft. I mean, this is some really scary stuff.
right. It is. It's
That's like the fourth biggest military in the world right now. The
Well-
Taliban. I mean, that's like insane.
my brother
only
is not
kidding.
at all concerned with any of this. He says, "Bring it on," because that means Jesus is coming very, very soon. And
It's
so,
fun. Yeah, I have a few friends of mine that literally fought. They were in Afghanistan, and they're
Really?
retired. They've been home for 15 years now, and they're like, "I want to go back. Get me back to
Really?
Afghanistan." Yeah, they are so pissed. They are so frustrated about what happened
What's
and all
going
the
on,
work
yeah.
that it's disgusting. It really is. But you know what? It is what it is. We're going to deal with it. We're definitely going to overcome this. And this is just a defining moment. It's showing the difference between the two sides. We have to understand who the enemy is. Some people
Right.
still don't get it. If you still don't get it, you're going to you got to wake up. And that's what this is all about.
right.
Well, and there were more takeaways from this particular article. And honestly, I mean, I know that you've spent a lot of time on this because, like I said, you gave me the talking points on this. What were some of the things that you actually got out of this article? I'm going to go ahead and share the screen with everyone so that they can see it. What were your big hot takes as far as reading? I know the Hunter Biden comparison with all the money that he's making.
Sorry, I don't know what happened here. On Mary's article, you're asking me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, my darling, hold on a second. I will tell you.
And here it is, just so everyone can see it. And I'm going to drop all of this into the chat room so that you can all read this. Like we said, she is incredibly shadow banned. Her work is amazing. And if you want to support her, please definitely go directly to her website, because these are the kind of journalists that we need more of. TheAmericanReport.org. If you're going to order something from My Pillow Guy, please make sure you type in for a promo code where you can save 66% TAR. And that way you can get your discount. It's the least we can all do. Toots has
Right.
3 sheet sets now. He's got 3 pillows. He's got 3 of everything from,
That's
from My
awesome.
Pillow.
That's right. So watch out, Noah. Watch out, Noah's Ark. I got 3 of everything. He only had 2.
That's something else. Yeah, well, okay, so I'm going to the article, sweetie, because I can't see that screen. That screen is just too small.
No problem.
All right, so I don't know why I can't find that article.
One
It's not coming up for
thing
me.
that you brought up here was that Joe Biden, whose crack addicted son Hunter has hauled
Yes.
in billions of dollars in deals with Chinese Communist Party linked companies, has installed Taliban medieval Islamic terrorists to once again control rare earth mineral rich Afghanistan. Afghanistan is rich in lithium, a rare earth mineral used to produce electric vehicle batteries. There's a lot of history to this whole thing of why Afghanistan is important, especially going forward with all of the technology, etc.
Right,
There are
right.
minerals there, and then also the poppy fields as well.
Yes,
They've got
yes,
that
the
going
drug
on
trade.
too. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, Biden armed Taliban just like Obama armed ISIS, just like Nixon armed Vietnam. And
Right.
so, I mean, this has been going on for decades and decades, that somehow the elite um, have got bad plans up their sleeves for America. We have to get rid of them, but they are deep and they are
Yeah.
wide. And as Mary has exposed, the hammer surveillance, anyone else is all bribed and compromised because they've got dirt on them. They've got it on video, and these people don't want to be embarrassed in front of the whole world, so they jump through the hoops, like John Roberts and many others,
Yeah.
and our judges, and so it's a horrific thing when you think about what Biden has just done.
Well, and
I hate it.
when you start looking at the ties with the Chinese Communist Party and
Right.
all and how they are aligning themselves with this whole thing and what's
Well, when
going
you
to
look
happen
at it,
there. Yeah.
China signed a 25-year lease with Iran to be able to go through their property, and now they're going into Afghanistan. It's for that Silk Road business.
Yeah. Right. Well, Afghanistan's situated right in such a spot where it's
Look at that.
the center of where everybody has to go. That's the gateway to the Middle East, so to speak, and that's what
Yes,
China
it
needed
is.
to get there. Yeah. It's listen, we're not in a good spot, but you know what? God is in control, and I think that all of us that believe something's going to happen, I believe that we will win this war. This is the way I see it. I don't know. Tell me if you think this is crazy or not. I look at it like this. This is why I still think that we're okay, because I look at it. Trump is the guy. When Trump, if they ever get Trump and they seize all his assets and he's in jail and they're arresting his family, we're done. Run for the hills, get grab your friends, go somewhere and just get off the grid, because we're done.
Yeah.
As long as he is still out there doing rallies and doing his thing and it looked like, and happy, and the way that the Democrats are acting, they're done. I know it seems crazy to even try to get your head around that. And I know with this new $7 trillion, whatever the hell they're trying to spend, it just looks like we got no hope in sight. But I don't know, for some reason, for me, I think that the way they're acting, they're in trouble. But who the hell knows? We're going to soon see.
Well,
Right.
when you look at this particular thing right here, okay, like for example, you see how we were talking about how this is not just incompetence, but it's just pure evil. It truly
Yes.
is.
Right.
Because when you look at in 2014, Obama and Biden released 5 top Taliban commanders known as the Taliban 5 from Guantanamo Bay prison as part of a prisoner exchange for disgraced U.S. Army soldier Bo Bergdahl. In his last email to his parents before he walked away from his unit, Bergdahl wrote, "I am ashamed to even be American." Obama falsely referred as Bergdahl as a POW. Now, one of the Taliban 5, and I can't really say his name, Karishkwa, has reportedly orchestrated the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan. You are starting to see that these are the people that they released are in Afghanistan now, that are basically meeting with CIA Director William Burns, trying to extend the deadline, to which they said absolutely not. And we already know that it's going to end up being a hostage situation. We know that we still have detainees over in Gitmo. We know that anybody that has leverage is going to try to leverage a deal to where, in exchange, this is what they have, this is what they're going to want, more of these prisoners released in turn for Americans. We're in a bad situation, and all of this could have been avoided, not to mention the fact that you have got all of this money. I mean, you have basically, this is incredible to me, funded the whole thing.
85 billion
That's right.
funding to Afghan.
But it's not even that. I mean, when you start talking about, okay, because a lot of people were saying, oh, well, they don't know how to fly these airplanes. They don't know how to fly these helicopters. They don't know how to do this or use that. Guess what? They can sell this technology and any of the secrets on those laptops to
Yep.
places like China, Russia, whatever. They have got the information and they can sell the secrets. There's no question about it. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Whether they can personally, fly a plane or not is irrelevant at this point. The amount of information and intel that they have been able to accumulate from this whole thing, from this disaster, this botched job of trying to, get out of a country. I've never seen anything like it. You can't even call it incompetence. I think it's treason. I think it's treason. I really do.
Oh, it absolutely is treason. How could it be anything else?
They want us to call it incompetence. I'm just let's use an analogy. Let's just say I wanted to kill, all the dogs in the neighborhood. Let's just say for whatever reason. So all of a sudden, here I am. I'm hanging out. One dog dies. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that dog died. What's wrong with you? I don't know. I was walking the dog and the leash got out and it ran in front of the thing and died. Oh, you're so incompetent. How could you do that? I know I'm incompetent. Then the next, I can't believe it. I'm incompetent. You want to be incompetent when you're trying to destroy him. I mean, that's the cover. This isn't incompetence. This is completely planned. This is a devious, deceptive, manipulative, maniacal plan to destroy America, to fund our allies. This doesn't happen out of nowhere. And you know what? The people that flew planes into the World Trade Center, they didn't know how to fly planes either. And you know what? They managed to fly them right into the Trade Center with a perfect hit. So it's so diabolical what is going on right now. And Jules, you're so right. This is treason at its highest level. They are they've infiltrated our whole country, and we're going to see how this plays out. But yes, the enemy is within, and this is not incompetence. So please, let's not give them the credit and give them the pass of incompetence. This is purely done by design. If you call it incompetence is to give them a pass, and that's
right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for bringing Mary's article. I'm sure she'll be delighted about that, and putting the link down, because you can see there's so much to read about this, and it is chock full. And
I would love, maybe I can read little parts of it, each day on the show, because it is
that
really
would be great
full,
if you could.
Full of information. I know it's going to take a lot of time, and I don't want to take away from your time either, because you've got some music out, and
I
we
have
Yes.
songs.
Songbird, please lift us.
She
Lift us out of
does. She's got
Okay,
a
so-
lot happening here. So let me go ahead.
What's next on the hit list?
Next, okay, so you see my backdrop here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the first time I was on the show, you were kind of bragging about my bio, and you said, well, if she comes up and says that she started an orphanage, I'm done, or something like that, you said, right?
Right.
Well, it's not an orphanage, okay? It's not an orphanage, but it was the first ever computer-aided learning center in the inner cities, and we had 4
Wow.
80s and 90s. We ran for 10 years, and then we ran out of money. It was a
Wow.
Christian ministry. It was before Sylvan, even before Sylvan, I believe.
So what you did was you supplied computers and stuff for the kids in the inner cities that couldn't afford them.
No, we had centers. We had 4 different centers. And in my town, we had a center. That's where we had the first center. My ministry partner was a pastor, a preacher, I should say. He wasn't pastoring a church, but he was a preacher, and he would go into prisons, and that's where I met him. And he and his wife were doing full-time ministry. And one day we got to talking about, these latchkey kids in our own town here are falling through the cracks. Mm-hmm. They're going home, or they're hanging on the streets. There's nobody home to greet them because their parents are working, or they're on the streets. And these are kids that were really failing in school and falling between the cracks. And so we opened up our center, and we had the computers were donated. The software program was donated. And then we started putting flyers out. And whenever we would see a family out there, we would give them a flyer, and we would ask them, come and see. come and see what we do, and you can come and be here after school and learn some more and have some snacks, and we also wanted to be able to tell them about Jesus, and so they came. It wasn't a couple of months when the school system came to us and said, what do you do exactly over there? And so we said, come on in, let's show you. So we showed them the computers and the software that we were using, and all of the kids brought their grades up, and none of them failed. And over 10
Wow.
years, we went on to see a number of them go through college, and some of their moms go into nursing and other occupations, and it was just phenomenal.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so those are some of our kids that were there when I was there.
How wonderful.
Isn't that
Absolutely
fulfilling? That is so
wonderful.
amazing.
And see, that's the thing. I mean, okay, we're all talking about what we can do to change the areas in which we live. I live here in California, and somebody, Joe just said, Joe Reinhardt over in Facebook, who would be the best governor for California come this 9/14/2021. Please talk about it and fast. Well, I want somebody that is going to have values. I mean, that's how I see it. Somebody that's going to care about the homeless situation, somebody that's going to care about critical race theory and make sure that doesn't end up in our schools. All the different things that you're seeing, people
Right.
are leaving the state just by in the droves. Larry Elder is that guy for me. I mean, I've listened to Larry. I know what he's about, and I think that a vote for anybody less than him is a wasted vote. So I hope I've answered his question. But I will tell you,
Love Larry.
one thing that is really missing is how the kids are being brought up, how they're not being a parent at home. There's not anything like that going on. They're reliant 100% on dropping their kids off at school, and then they don't look at anything that they're being taught, and then they wonder how come they're turning into little Marxists. I mean, they're wondering why all of a sudden they're crying because they didn't get a trophy and everybody else did. Well, they've been taught that. Right? They're not being
or
taught
if
to be
they're
the best.
underprivileged kids like our kids were, then they just get into trouble and they land up dropping out. They land up getting pregnant and then having to take some kind of a shitty job.
Exactly.
And the cycle just continues and continues. And so we wanted to try to break that cycle, and we did for a number of families, and we were so blessed to be able to do that.
That is so wonderful. Toots does that too. Did you know that? Did you know Toots is involved with
No.
yes, tell her, Toots. My
Well,
goodness. This is a side of you no one knows about.
It's actually my guitar player and his wife, Jimmy Bones and Neff. They do. They work with the kids in the Bronx, and they've been doing it for many years. And I came in, they brought me in, and I was helping them write songs and they do this whole music thing, and it's for the kids that are not orphans, but not, oh gosh, my mind is, their parents, like
Foster kids.
Foster kids, yes, thank you for that. Yeah, they're foster kids. So they're foster kids in the Bronx, and they're so sweet, these kids. And I've been working with them, and I've seen them as they're growing up. I've worked with them for a couple of years now, and I've written a couple of songs with them and taught them how to write, and I see them how to grow, and it's amazing to watch. And they put on these plays, and I go to see them do their little thing. And
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Toots. I'm so proud of you,
it's
and I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And it's good to see them because they're, you're seeing these kids, and then they all get together and they love it, and they're playing music and they're singing, and you see, I know some of them since they were little kids, younger, and then I saw them as they got older, because I've known them for like 3 years, and in 3 years, when you're 12 or 11, and then you're 14 or 15, it's a big difference,
It is.
Yeah, and then with this COVID, that I didn't get to see them for about a year and a half, and then I'm seeing them, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're all, some of them are bigger than me. Yeah.
Yes.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm so proud of it, actually, that what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the screen so you can see some of this stuff, because it's kind of fun.
Oh, that would be
we're
awesome.
all family here. Toots, I keep a little folder on you and your good deeds.
I'm
so
happy.
so I'm going to show it
so good.
off. I will show it off.
Oh,
yeah,
there they go.
I bet
These
you
are the
didn't know
kids
I
in the
had
Bronx.
these. Did you,
Tell us
Toots?
about
I
it.
forgot about
Toots.
that. So
What are
they
we
this
seeing
show.
here?
This is the show they did. This was in the Bronx. They put on a little show. So this is them performing, and we're in the audience. I just took a few pictures
Oh, that's
of
great.
them.
And
Did I give you a
Toots,
video?
that's an opportunity that no one else gave them, and most likely nobody else was going to give them if you
Well,
didn't do
actually,
it.
for me, it was an opportunity for me it was such a pleasure
Yes.
for me to be, because my friends did so much work with this. And when they asked me, I was so honored. I couldn't believe it. And to work with the kids, it was amazing. It really made me a better person, believe it or not. I was so
does.
humbled. Yeah, it was amazing to
Yeah,
do this.
it does.
And to
And they're
watch
going to
them
remember that for their whole life. You've changed the paradigm of their lives. You have expanded their world. You have expanded their thought process and what is possible for them and what they can do that they never thought they could do. And the memory of having had some fun in their childhood, and the people who came alongside them and helped them. It is so valuable. People have no idea how valuable it is.
Yeah, I've
Beautiful.
my friends Jimmy and Neff, they've worked with these kids forever, and they were the ones who really they're like parents to them. They work with them constantly. I
Right.
came in, I worked with them a couple of times, maybe 10 times or something like that, here off and on, getting stuff together. Actually, they played one of the songs that I've written with them, and they played it on Fox 5 when they did a little interview with all of these kids. They were on there, and they played the song that I wrote. And there's me.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
I know
That's so
I know
great.
little
That's
Eric
so
thing that he was this young little guy when I first met him, and he was like, he liked this girl, and he would come over to me and ask me information. What should I do with this girl? I said, you know what? Just leave her alone. She'll come to you. Just don't pay no mind. She'll come to you. And all of a sudden, next he's dating the girl, and he's saying now he's playing the guitar now. What a good little it really was something.
Toots' love line.
So great. Oh, that's so great. Bloom where you're planted, right? Bloom where you're planted and leave a place better than the way you found it.
Yes.
It's simple. It is simple, and it doesn't take much. Some people get totally immersed and it becomes their whole world and it becomes their ministry, and that's, their calling. Other people come alongside and help get something started or help move something along. Some people are the long distance runners and other people are the sprinters. I'm a sprinter. I go in, I help, and then I step back.
The hit and run. You do the hit and run.
Yeah. That's what I do.
Oh, so that's fun. I knew you two had that.
This will segue into my next song, guys.
Fantastic. Okay, so
Yes.
we're going to Night People. Is that the one you want?
Yes, and I want to tell you about it. I had told you I did prison ministry, and I was able to, by God's grace, minister to over 100,000 inmates over a 10-year period. During that time, I met an inmate who was in for 25 years. He was in for rape, and he totally changed his life around while he was there. The Lord came into his life, and he went back to school while he was behind bars, and he got his Master's of Divinity and became a pastor. And then he married someone who would come to visit him, and then he got out and was pastoring, and so he did so well.
Wow,
He
turned his whole
gave
life
me
around.
this song. He wrote this song, Night People.
Wow.
And
When
and
did you
so I
record
want-
this?
I recorded this also in 1990, and it's a
90s.
demo. I mean, I needed to sing it over, but it's just a demo. So it's good enough for what we do, for what I do.
What I just heard, if that was the demo, that first song, if that's your demo voice, whoa.
That's right. Watch out.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's check it out. This is Night People. This is Songbird for Trump. Here we go.
We spend all night on the subway, riding trains until the break of day. Try to make the pieces fit.
how perfect was
Thank
that?
you. Oh, thank you, thank you,
Wow.
thank you.
I am a sucker for the saxophone.
Me too. Oh my goodness. You mean the sexy
Unbelievable.
phone?
Wow. That brought me back to a Billy Joel. That was like had a little Billy
Oh,
Joel in it. Oh my God, that was amazing. What a great job. You
thank
could,
you.
yeah, you could tell it. That's the real instruments because you cannot do that on.
No. And you know where I recorded these? I recorded it in a studio in New Jersey, and same place that Streisand had recorded one of her projects.
Where was it in Jersey? Jersey
I
City,
I
New
know.
York? Was it by
No,
the
no,
city? Oh,
no, it wasn't Jersey City. It was it Englewood? Is there an
oh,
Englewood?
there's an
Where
Englewood, Jersey. Yeah.
anyway, the engineer was the same engineer that she used. Now, he
Wow.
told me that she goes in and she punches in a song a minimum of 200 times.
Takes and then they edit out. They got to edit
Then they
200 other
edit in.
takes.
If she
Yeah.
doesn't like the way she's saying it once, it gets punched and she sings it over and over and just that one word, and then they punch it in, you know? And so I thought, oh gosh, I wish I had money and time to do that, you know, or even somebody that would tell me, you know, that sounded a bit like a clam, you can do it better, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
and then they were mixed and mastered at the Hit Factory in New York City.
Wow. Yeah, they did a
Yeah,
good job. And your voice sounded great. You sounded amazing on it. Everything,
thank
the whole
you.
song was just put together so well. So somebody wrote that song for you, and then you
That was my
that was
friend
your
David
friend.
from prison who wrote that
Wow.
song. And you know, the truth is, every last one of us is a night person or started off as a night person until we met Christ.
The freaks come
Every
out at
last
night,
one
baby.
of
The
us.
freaks come out at night.
And we are all freaks until we know Christ. And that is the absolute truth, because you can do good works up the wazoo, but if you don't know Jesus and you don't have his Holy Spirit living in you, then you are toast, because God says that all of our good works are like filthy rags. That's what he calls our good works, filthy rags. Now, we do good works. We want to do good and help the kids and help people and be nice because we love God, but we can't love God unless we have his Holy
Hold
Spirit.
on. God
It just doesn't happen.
calls our works filthy rags. That's what I call the Democrats. No.
Yes, I know. Well, they're a pathetic bunch of losers, and they truly are going to be losers. You know, now with this everything that's going on. I mean, for heaven's sakes, with I got myself lost here from my phone because I can't
You know what I
can't
wanted
get
to
off
say
this one
though
screen.
is your friend who wrote this song. It's
Yeah.
literally like he wrote it specifically for you. Like nobody else could have sang that song. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
kind of true. When I heard it, it just resonated with me, and I said, "Oh, I would really like to record this song," and he gave it to me.
Yeah, it sounds like he
So,
wrote it with you in mind, because that's not a song you would give, David Lee Roth or or Led Zeppelin isn't going to sing that song, but
yeah,
he wrote it with you in mind, and he's like, "I'd love
right.
you to sing this track." Wow, that was really nice. Jules, what'd you think?
I loved it, of course, and I love sexy phone. I
Oh,
love
me
how you
too,
call it
Jules.
the sexy phone.
Oh, there's
I
something about it.
agree.
As a
I
matter,
know. It
as a
just
matter of
makes
fact,
me
we're gonna have a
joyful.
little sexy phone talk later, Jules.
I don't know, dude. Sweet. You haven't been
I
behaved.
think I'm in the mood for some sexy phone talk.
Oh, it's so good. You know, it's just so great, and just love hearing it again after all these years, because I wasn't
Great
able to
job.
hear it because it was on these reels, and I just 2 weeks ago was able to get it done.
Isn't
So that
that
was
fun?
really
So it's
fun.
almost like you're rediscovering it, and it's really interesting,
Yes.
that this song would come up tonight, and that you bring up the kids, and what a difference this made in their lives. Are you still in contact with any of them that you worked with, or is
You
anybody
know,
else?
I am not. No, my ministry partner, Clarence, passed away, and now most recently his wife passed away also.
Oh
We
wow.
were
Oh,
we were in Harlem, Jersey City, and DC, and then in my little town where I lived, and so we had four of them up and running, and it was all based on donations. The kids didn't have to pay anything to
that's
be there.
wonderful.
Yeah, so it was really great, and so we changed lives while we were there, and it made a difference. I'm sure it resonates with many of them to
I'm
this
sure
day.
it does. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's so neat that you and Toots have that in common because a
Yes,
lot of
it's
people don't
wonderful.
know that side of him. So whenever kids come up, he's the first one to start talking about, his kids is what he refers to them as because
Yes,
he's really helped them a lot. And you can see it in all the pictures and the
that's
videos and
so
different
great.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
love that
mean,
about you, Toots.
yeah. Thank you. I mean, I don't deserve that much credit. I've worked with them, but the people that really deserve the credit are my two friends. The work that they've
I
done,
know. I
it's
know, and they do deserve credit, and
oh my
because I'm sure
gosh,
they do it
amazing
because
what they
they
did.
love
Yeah.
God. But you didn't have to do it. You didn't have to get
That's
Oh
involved,
right.
and
no,
you
yeah,
did.
no, it
He
was a
did.
blessing for me.
Oh,
Yes.
It
yeah.
was such a blessing
He
to be.
downplays himself. He always
Yeah,
does. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
But he enjoys it. I mean, he gets so excited about the whole thing. And when they are working on a song, because that's how he can really relate to them is in music. Just,
Yeah,
that's what he does. And so whenever
right.
he gets to help out with that, I mean, he has more fun, I think, than they do.
I gotta find that song. Maybe I gotta find it for
Well, you
tomorrow.
have to and put and play
Yeah.
it. Oh,
Again, I'll play
I
the
once
song. Yeah.
wrote a rap song for these kids, and I had a church concert in the area, and I brought these my kids, and they got up and performed the rap song with me.
Oh, how
About it
cool
was
is
kind of an
that?
ad for our learning center, and we were hoping for some more donations to tell you the truth. Had to keep the rent going, and the snacks flowing.
Exactly.
So
So write a
anyway,
song and get everybody involved. I think that's so, so neat. So you've
well,
got
they had
a.
never been to a white church before. My
Oh,
church was white. I think we had a few token black people
right, right,
whom we loved,
right.
and we would have loved to have had more diversity. But that particular church was predominantly white, and so here come these African American kids, and it was you could tell it was just a different experience for both the congregation as well as these kids. And the reception that they got from having been there and performed and being willing to stand up in front of the congregation was tremendous. And they were just overjoyed. And that again was another experience for them that they wouldn't have had otherwise. And that is like a stepping stone to other things in their lives.
Well, and
Just
both
is.
ways. I mean, it works both ways. I'm from a very
Yes.
small town in Mississippi, and so I know exactly what you mean, even though, they, say that we're not segregated or what have you. By choice, generally, people are. They kind of migrate to different areas and different things.
Mhm.
And
Right.
so to have that experience, I mean, wonderful for both sides. I mean, I'm in LA now. You don't even, everybody, everything. It doesn't even matter how you identify. You can identify as an elephant, and that's great. Um, because
Of 32 genders.
exactly. It's crazy. It's like come one, come all. All right, come to this crazy ball. But that's what we do here in LA. And
No, you're just great.
it changes. It changes constantly. Not only did they steal our rainbow, but they stole our alphabet. I don't understand the whole thing myself, but that's just the way it is. But I think it's absolutely so important to work with children at a young age. In fact, I used to teach tennis, and so I would work with kids, and they're amazing, and you can see where they come from. I would teach lessons and everything else too, and so
Oh, that's awesome.
well, you could see the good from the bad from the parents' teachings. Like I would have a kid that would come on the court, and they would say, "I'm going to have a nervous breakdown." I would say, "You don't even know what a hurt nervous breakdown is. This is your mom talking or your dad talking. This isn't you
Yes,
talking. You don't know what
you're
that is."
right.
But you started to see how they would pick up certain things from their
Mm-hmm.
environment and who they were
Mm-hmm.
around and what they were saying.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of really great, people, and of course tennis is kind of an upper sport, as far as privileged sport, I
Yes,
guess you'd say. And so
right.
you could see
Mm-hmm.
those that really had hands-on parents and then those that did not. They may have,
Mm-hmm.
the biggest house on the block and all the money in the world, but they didn't have the parenting. They didn't have the love and the
Right.
support. And so you can see it. You got to start early with them. You really, really do. So I love
Yes,
that you
you
two are
really do.
involved in that. I think that's wonderful.
Thank you.
So now we have
It
another
was an
one
honor.
from you. We declare.
Yes, yes, and you know that one. We've done that one before,
Yes, we
and
have.
so we declare that God is our God, and as no matter what's going to go on here, God is in control. We don't know if it's going to get so much worse that we're all going to want to commit Harry but it doesn't look good most days. And so we know that the one who has put the whole universe together, he's got this.
Yes,
He has this.
I
And
totally
so we
agree.
declare that he is our everything. He's the one who holds us together.
And
He's the one who guides us and leads us.
that's exactly right. And that's really what we need right now. We need a reminder of that because we all get
Right, of the
entrenched
power of that.
exactly in all of this day-to-day
Right.
stuff, and we have got to declare, his love and appreciate it. So
And
this,
his power. And his
yes.
power. And it's supernatural. And it is Satan can't measure up because, first of all, Satan is not on par with Jesus. Jesus is God, and Jesus has created the entire everything, all of the universes, the earth, all of us. Satan was created by Jesus as a beautiful angel who wanted to be God, and God cast him down out of heaven, and with him he took 1/3 of the angels, and God prepared a place for him called earth. That's why Satan's on earth running rampant, putting his little demons into people who don't have the Holy Spirit of God living in them. And it seems like they're growing in number. And I think, there's an answer, and that answer is God. Turn to God and get rid of the demons, and stop your messing around with all this witchcraft and all this Satanism,
I totally,
because it's
totally agree.
yeah.
I mean, you can
So
see
I just
that it's all, chaos, and that's because we have something very big in our life missing, and that's God. And we have to remember that daily. I mean, seriously, because I
right.
think that's the one big part of our life that is missing. All right, so we
I agree.
declare this is Songbird for Trump.
We will not go silently into the night. No, 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 no. We have the God Almighty by our side, and His power divine. Angels all around, the Lord God astounds. His power knows no limit, and none can compare. The blood of Christ has freed us. The Holy Ghost is in us. He gives power to the timid. In one voice we declare, our sins were removed as far as east is from the west. Then we were given holy power enough to match the test. Our names are known and written on the palm of His hand, and He's counted the hairs on our heads. In faith and prayer we move and watch for God's holy plan till Christ returns again. Angels all around, the Lord God astounds. His power knows no limit, and none can compare. The blood of Christ has freed us. The Holy Ghost is in us. He gives power to the timid. In one voice we declare, our sins were removed as far as east is from the west. Then we were given holy power enough to match the test. Our names are known and written on the palm of His hand, and He's counted the hairs on our heads. Whatever trial His wisdom knows we must go through, we can withstand. Angels all around, the Lord God astounds. His power knows no limit, and none can compare. The blood of Christ has freed us. The Holy Ghost is in us. He gives power to the timid. In one voice we declare, never underestimate the supernatural power of a sinner saved by grace. We will not go silently into the night. No, 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 no. We have the God Almighty by our side, and His power divine. Angels all around, the Lord God astounds. His power knows no limit, and none can compare. The blood of Christ has freed us, the Holy Ghost is in us. He gives power to the timid, in one voice we declare. Angels all around, the Lord God astounds. His power knows no limit, and none can compare. The blood of Christ has freed us, the Holy Ghost is in us. He gives power to the timid, in one voice we declare. We will not go silently, we will not go silently into the night.
Oh, I love that song too. Wow.
Thank you.
Oh, great.
Wow. Beautifully, beautifully done.
Thank you, Jules.
I'm not kidding. I mean, you just have such a powerful voice, and you just sing so beautifully too, and about things that like, and not only that, they're catchy. Like when I listen to your music, it'll play in my head. Like I'll get one of
yeah?
your songs in my head,
that's
and that's it. That's right.
And I never know. And so Toots, I found that track, is one of those free tracks from YouTube I could pick off. And so the melody line wasn't necessarily there, so I kind of came up with the melody line and my lyrics to fit, and so that's what came out. And so that's kind of a fun part of the creative process.
So that one there, that one you got the backbeat somewhere else. So you didn't create
yes,
that back.
that was not mine, right?
Wow, I love it.
But the melody line that I sang was kind of mine, based on the backbeat, and the back arrangement.
Yep.
And then I added the harmonies and that kind of thing.
Beautifully done. I love it. I love your music. And you know what else I like that you do is that you update your videos. Like you will
I do.
Yes, you do. And it's wonderful because I've been trying to encourage Toots to do that because he's got a lot of music that he wrote 10 years ago or longer. And I'm like, okay, time for an update. I mean, we can use them. They're so good, and we can use them
they're
again.
So good, but I don't know which ones you're referring to, though, Jules, because they're all so stellar. We just love our Toots.
We do. The Marco Rubio one.
Like our Toots.
I want him to redo the Marco Rubio one because I love the Marco Rubio one, but I don't like Marco Rubio anymore. And at the time, he was.
I don't like him either.
Me neither.
Well, I wrote that when
great
everybody.
Song too.
He was the T-boy star. Everybody loved him. The Tea Party. I mean, he was the Tea Party star back in the day. But you know what it is when I've written all of these songs, it's kind of like a history lesson. This is my musical history kind of tour. So everything is there. It's portraying a specific time in history. I don't want to keep changing everything.
It's magical mystery tour.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Magical history tour.
Oh, okay.
A musical magical
tour, yes.
history tour.
History. How much more time do we have left?
We definitely have time for number 4. For the 4th one that you sent us. Are you ready for that one? The Kingdom Way. You want to tell us about that a little bit?
I do. This is another one that was a demo that I recorded with those same musicians at that same time. And this one I'm dedicating to all of you in the pit crew and to you two, Toots and Jules, of course, and to the others out there who fight every day, who work every day to do something to save our America. And so I want you to know that even though you're tired, you are making a difference. And God is with us. And I just want you to take some time and rest when you have to rest, and then be your warrior selves when you can be.
That is so sweet because you know what? It does get trying. Like, the first part of the show, you don't really recognize how much it really affects you. The
Yes.
news that's coming out that you're covering every day and you're reading it. You're reading it before the show. You're dealing with it all day and you're trying
Oh,
to come
it's
up with something positive. You're trying to
constant
come up with a
bombarding.
resolve. And it
Oh,
just really gets to you after a
mhm.
while. I
Yeah.
mean, to the point where my release is playing video games. Not a lot of
Good for
people know
you.
that, but I do that because I just have to go somewhere else. I play video games because they're fun and they take my
Know
mind
what I
off of
do?
it. What
You
do
know
you
what I
do?
do?
What do you do?
I sit in my recliner and I go to my remote and I go YouTube and then I'll say free romantic comedies. And I'll watch some brain dead Hallmark love
Good.
story and I
Oh
come
no,
up
don't
with,
give Jules any ideas.
oh my God.
Yay! We'll do
Because
that
it's totally
tonight.
different than what we do and it's like, it just separate it cuts the brain off from all of that politics so that we can just
Yes.
relax a little bit. You
You
know,
have to.
you have to. We absolutely have to.
Oh my gosh. All
So this is
right.
like
So
this is like our benediction. This is my benediction to you for today's program.
wonderful. And this is how we're going to end tonight. This one is the Kingdom Way. And then I'll be back to introduce what's going on for the rest of the week and play the exiting video. But this is the Kingdom Way. And I want everybody to know just how they can find you and they can follow you. I've been dropping your links in, but just for those that
Thanks.
are listening so that
Yeah.
they can hear how they can get in touch with you or follow
No,
you.
I'm not on Rumble yet. I mean, I think I've opened up an account, but I haven't done anything there yet. I'm still on YouTube and they haven't kicked me off yet. So you can find me at USA for DJT channel. And that's where I just upload all of my videos to that. I'm not
Perfect.
I'm not really promoting self.
You have a website or anything?
No, but I really should.
Yes, you
And I
should.
should get busy selling stuff so I can make some money.
Yes. So
Lord
you
knows I haven't made any money all these years that we've been stumping for Trump. Jeez Louise.
Exactly.
So
Everybody's.
broke.
I know we're like that too. You go to our website, we don't sell anything. There's like nothing on there that people are like, "Wow, would really like to buy a mug and support you in some way," and we haven't done anything
Yeah.
like that. But you're
Well, maybe I should
also
do some tiaras. Maybe I should do some
yes,
tiaras and earrings and
earrings,
oh, did you
absolute
see this?
sparkly
Look
things.
at this. Ooh.
How beautiful! I
Ooh,
love.
nice.
Very
Yeah.
hypnotic. So, so one other thing too, you're also on Twitter. You didn't get kicked off of Twitter. You're
I'm
still
not kicked off yet,
there.
but you know what? I'm not there much. I
Okay.
go there. I take something that I find on Telegram now and put it onto Twitter, and then I will retweet Mary Fanning.
There you
I don't
go.
even bother going into the rooms anymore to do anything in
No.
there. It's just like, why bother? We're
Yeah,
so shadow banned.
we
I'm
are.
just waiting for a shift to happen because it's not working the way it should.
I
And
agree.
why put the energy into it? I'd rather be creating. I'd rather be creating songs that maybe someone might enjoy listening to.
Well, that's exactly what you're doing, and you do that so well. Now, I know you're also on Gab. I'm on Gab now, so I've been dropping your Gab channel in there as well, so that
Yeah,
everybody. But you're not over there either. You're at
I'm
C4
not there. I'm just,
Constitution. But
after mom died, I had to deal with all of that stuff. And then it's been kind of renovating the house a little bit this summer when hubby was home. And so, I just
nice.
kind of stepped back a little bit from all of the pressure of the politics because it was all too
Too
much,
much.
with,
Right.
death and all of this stuff. And so now I said, okay, well, what am I going to do moving forward here? I know I can't put in 16 hours a day of this tweeting,
Right.
because it's not going anywhere anyway. So
You're
not
creating.
going to do that. So I'm going to create. I'm just going to create.
I think
You
that's
know,
perfect.
birds. The bird's old, so she might as well do something she likes to. And, and some of you guys out there in Pit Crew, you don't sing, you don't play. You're our audience. And so we need to create for you so that you can go out and do what you do best, which is to push the truth out there and keep pushing the truth. And so we're rooting for you to go ahead and do that.
That's right.
And
That's
appreciate
right.
you so much. I love you guys in crew. They are so cool. Everybody
And they're
in the pit
wonderful.
crew are just the most lovely people. Just
been such a blessing. It
Oh
really
my
It
goodness.
is.
You know,
to
every
meet
time I go
everybody.
in there, it
Yeah.
feels like I'm home away from home.
Yes.
It's just been so welcoming and everyone's so
Family
loving
room.
and
Yep.
funny. And Missy with her little butt dances, you know, cartoons and
I
stuff.
know,
I'm like,
Missy.
Missy, can you dance like this? You know, film your own self. You know?
Missy has a reputation for all of her little, yes, all of her dance moves.
She's the
in
twerk. We call she's the
live.
twerker. She's the twerk. She's always twerking.
Everybody has a little personality, wonderful, and they're just such lovely, lovely people. We could
They're
not do
great.
this show without them, and they are the reason
That's
why
right.
we do this show. I mean, every single day we look forward to it because of them. I mean, just amazing, amazing
They are great people, and you
Yeah.
guys are great people too. And I just am so blessed to have come to know you this way, and I hope we're associated for a long time to come
Oh,
because
yeah.
Oh,
this is so
definitely.
wonderful.
It's just the
It's
beginning of
given me
everything.
an outlet, and I've
Yes.
just loved that. And
Listen,
you know,
you
if I
keep
can,
giving us compliments like that, and you're always welcome on the show.
Whenever you want to fly in, Songbird, please do. And
I
perch for a while.
I will come and
The
perch.
window's always open.
Thank you so much.
All right, so here we go. We're going to do the Kingdom Way, and this is Songbird for Trump. And I'm going to continue to drop all of the links into the chat room of hers so that you can all go over there and subscribe to her channel and everything else. Here we go.
Trust in the Lord and try to do His will. Know He is God. Take time to be still. Never fear the evil. Your times are in His hands. His Spirit in you will help you to withstand. Fight the good fight in keeping with the faith. Pressing on until we've won the race. And perfect love will keep us till this life is through. That day when Jesus comes for me and you. Ask, it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, the door will open to you. He'll give you peace of mind. Pray till answers come your way. Search your own heart too. Forgive your brother should he disappoint today, as the Lord has done for you. Till answers come your way. Search and search your own heart too. Forgive your brother should he disappoint today. This is the kingdom. This is the kingdom way.
Not yet. I sent you the MP4s and I just didn't even have time to upload them, but I'll do them, you know, later tonight, tomorrow. I'll put them up there for sure.
When did you write? When did you
Okay.
write that one?
I wrote that at the same time. I
90s?
wrote that back then.
Wow, this is
And so
amazing
it's
stuff.
kind of interesting, Toots, that they're still relevant, you know, which blow me away. I mean, I thought, okay, well, those are just songs I did a long time ago. And then I listened to them again and I thought, well, you know,
Are you still active in your church?
I'm not singing in the church.
Because these are
I'm not.
songs that you could literally sing in the church with a piano, like get an organ player.
Yes, I know. That's
You
true. I
could do
could.
this live in the church. And you know what? And to me, that would actually attract more people. The church is the church and it does its things. But
Right.
when you add different dimensions to it and
Yeah.
make it a little more exciting,
Yes.
this could be something beautiful for your church.
Well, I did that for 25 years, right? I went
Yeah.
into churches with my music and other people's music. Also, I did
Oh, so
covers of
you
other
did all
people's
that
music.
already. So you did that with the
Oh
church.
yeah, I did
okay.
that for 25 years.
Yeah.
That was full-time ministry.
Was these the songs that you were doing in the church?
I did these in the church
These
too.
were the
Yeah.
songs. Okay, I was going to say, because they sound beautiful. This to me, when I'm listening to it, I'm going, I want to hear that in the church, especially with the acoustics of the church.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks.
Wow. So you already did that. So you already thought of that. So that's okay. So that's good to know.
Well, that's confirmation for me though, Toots, that you think that it's a good idea to do that, because just because I thought it was a good idea didn't mean that it was.
Yeah,
And so
no.
confirmation from you is good.
Yeah. Plus that's something you love to do. Now here you are in the church, you get the piano player. Actually, a friend of mine, him and his wife, that's what they do. My friend plays the piano and his wife sings. She's got a voice very similar to yours, very opera kind of.
Operatic kind of,
Yeah. And it's beautiful. And they sing at the churches, and they'll go and they'll do parties. And wherever they go, the two of them together, it's like they show people. So wherever they are, if there's a
So
piano,
nice.
there they are. He's
There
playing.
they are.
Yeah. And that's who you remind me of in a lot of ways. But I think that would be beautiful, man. Wow, that could be something.
Thank you so much. I know. Oh, thanks. Right. Yeah. Well, I felt when I was thinking, what am I going to bring? What valuable thing have I got to bring? And it just got so into my mind that I needed to sing about the Lord and our relationship to him and how we can come to know him and how we can trust him and how he gives us power, and how he is with us and will never leave us or forsake us. And that was something that I just really felt on fire to kind of bring here tonight. And I'm glad I did, because it's a little bit like an oasis this particular Tuesday. Wouldn't you agree that it's a little bit of an oasis next to all of the news that we always have to bring in, the hard talk that we have to do every day.
Absolutely.
We have to do it. We have to do it, but sometimes we need an oasis also.
Well, it's really true, and a lot of people didn't hear me because I was on mute. Sorry about that, everyone. I did that again, but what I was saying was the news cycle. Normally, Tuesday is the worst time because I refer to it as Terrible Tuesday, because all the stuff they tried to hide from you on the weekend, you start to figure out happened by Tuesday, and then Wednesday is pretty rough in the mornings as well. And so, it was so great to see that you were coming on the show, because you are that light, you are that happy place. I mean, you really are, and you bring so much to the show through your music and everywhere you go. I mean, you really truly are just a shining star. So thank you for joining us tonight. We really
Thank you
enjoyed
for
it.
having me. You guys, I love you. And I just
thank
think the work you do is tremendous. I love Toots's music and his style, and I like his bursts, and I like his anger, and I like his four-letter words, and I like his, I don't know if you see, when I'm in chat, I do hashtag scumbags, or hashtag, filthy pig. Hashtag filthy pig or something.
Scuzzballs, Nazis. Oh my.
I'm always doing a hashtag whatever Toots said, and I love it, Toots. I think you are one of a kind.
Yes, he is.
And we love you. And Julesy, you have got to be as gorgeous as your voice is. You've just got to be a magnificent person.
Oh, thank you.
You are just do such a beautiful job, and the yin and yang to the two of you, with Jules being this polished and soft and lovely and gracious person, and then you got Tootsie, and he's but you all both are up to date on the news. You're both thinkers. You both know what it is you're talking about. You are so well versed in what's going on that, you guys are a force to be reckoned with. And I just think you are tremendous. And I wish more and more and more people would come on, and they will. Once, they are already. I mean, you're gaining followers already. And you're going to get more and more because
All
you
right,
have a great show.
Get Songbird back on here
So
tomorrow.
sweet. I know. Songbird will be joining us every day for the rest of the week.
Anytime you need an infusion, just give me a little call and I'll come over.
Songbird, you are the best.
I mean, Toots has turned red. I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know if everybody can see this, but Toots is another shade right now, which is wonderful.
Amazing. No, we truly
we
and
do.
You know what? It's all of us. Everybody does what they do, and that's what's so amazing about what's going on right now. And I can't say it enough. I mean, the blessings that came into my life, just when I met Jules, that's how that started all of this. And it's just been a new life for me, and just to get to meet everybody. And most of these people were in Jules's life, the Mighty 200, and they took me in like one of their own. And everybody else that we met through the show, and just people coming. It's been one blessing after the other, and meeting you was a blessing, and just the whole thing. It's been amazing. So thank you, Lord, for all of this. And now we just got to get our country back, and then we can, really enjoy the rest of our lives. Because right now we're in a fight for our lives. But you know what? Right. I wouldn't fight this if we didn't have each other. This fight would. Right. I don't know how I would get up to fight it.
Right.
But having everybody here, it gives us all the strength to get up every day and fight this fight.
It does, and that is so important. And I don't know. I'm sure that you feel it, Pit Crew, but you are so valuable in that chat room. You keep Jules and Toots going, and you're so valuable to have to this whole process. And then the work that you do when you're not here in chat is so valuable.
That's
thank you
true.
for all you do.
It's really true. Songbird, I mean, that's the thing. I always, talk to Fleet Admiral James and some of the others that, are really, really involved in like either the promo or certain things. But I want chat to realize that they have their own personality. I mean, they bring so much to the show. We never know how it's going to go on the show because it's live. So there are no redos. I mean, when we step in it or we go somewhere we're not supposed to go, then guess what? That's just too bad. I mean, we just beg for forgiveness because it is live and it's one of those things that happens. But I'll tell you, the chat room is so incredible. They're like family to everybody that comes in. They're so welcoming. They all have different personalities, like you said, from Missy on. Everyone is so important to us, and we couldn't do it without them. We just absolutely, and wouldn't do it without them. So we just enjoy it, and we enjoy you, and we cannot wait to have you back on. Honestly, keep creating. You are just fantastic at it.
Oh, you are so good. Thank you so much.
Another great time, another great show, another great guest, part of the family here, and everybody in the Pit Crew in the family room. Love you guys. Please, everyone, stay safe. The most important thing right now is to stay safe, be smart. And we're going to see everybody tomorrow. Tomorrow's an early show, right, Julesy?
That is right. It is
Cat in Town.
It is Cat in Town Day. Yes, it is. And we have got Cat Turd at 12 noon Eastern time. 12 to 2 is when Cat Turd, the fabulous feline, will join us. That's always a great show. And then on Thursday, the 26th, we have Jeffrey Prather, retired special operations soldier, former DIA intelligence collector. That's going to be a powerful show. Wow. It's going to be great. I've heard great things about him. He's never been on before, so it'll be a first time for him. And we return to our 7:00 p.m. Eastern time hour. And then on Friday, we have Will Jennings and Robert Malone for Mighty MAGA Music Night. Great. That is going to be a fun night.
Another wow-wee week. You guys are unbelievable. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. A lot of great stuff going on. So we're going to see everybody tomorrow. I just want to thank everybody. I also want to thank everybody over there on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, please get over there and like the page, The Truth About Donald J. Trump. It's a Facebook page. All you got to do is like it. Doesn't cost you anything. You're going to join about 230,000 other Patriots, like-minded Patriots. And I want to do special thanks to Joanne Falcona. We love you, and thank you so much for what you do over there. And everybody on YouTube. Are we on YouTube tonight, Jules?
No, we got
Oh,
a strike.
oh,
Yeah.
sorry. But everybody on
Struck
Twitch,
last night.
everybody over
Rock
there on
out.
Twitch. Yeah,
Keep striking out.
We're always striking out in one
We
way.
we got Rumble now.
That's exactly right. And if you do miss a show, you can always check it out on our website, patriotsintune.com, patriotsintune.net. Songbird, thank you so much for joining us on this show. We just love you to pieces, and you're wonderful, and cannot wait to see more of your creations and have you back on. And maybe we can have you with Mary too another time, because you do a lot of really cool things that people don't know. You'll write music for some of the things that she's working on. So you two collaborate beautifully together. So when you get something like that going again, let me know, and we'll have you both on as well. I know Mary's going to come on. I think they already have her booked for the next couple of weeks.
Yes, I think Mary and maybe Alan also, Alan Jones.
We haven't met him
writing
yet.
partner. You
Yeah,
haven't?
we have not
He's got-
met Alan.
Incognito. He's incognito, and he doesn't say much, but when he says something, it's always right.
He's like E.F. Hutton. Remember
Yes.
E.F. Hutton?
when E.F. Hutton talks,
Everybody listens.
everyone listens.
All right, so I am going to end this show tonight with the promo for the week presented by Miss Hobbit. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will see you tomorrow afternoon, 12 noon, with Cat Turd. Good night.
Thanks for having me, guys. Love you.
Great.
When Johnny comes marching home again, hurrah, hurrah. When Johnny comes marching home again, hurrah, hurrah. We'll all stand proud and sing a song when Johnny's back home where he belongs. And we'll all stand tall when Johnny comes marching home. 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 Picked up his sweat, packed his bags, left early morning for Fort Bragg. Said his last goodbyes the night before Mama Jado's eyes. As soon as he walks through the door, from that day on